What is up, guys? This is Mike from Examiner.com here with Jessica. We're talking about RWBY. So, episode 1 of Volume 2 just came out today, so we're taking a look at some of the pros and cons and what we thought about it. So just to give you guys a little bit of background, I personally am a big RWBY fan. I like a lot of their animation and their storytelling. On the opposite end, Jess here has never seen RWBY before today, so I thought it'd be nice to kind of bounce ideas off one another and see what it feels like to watch RWBY from an outside perspective, see how the episode did.
Or any other anime, for that matter.
You've seen anime.
Okay, the only thing I've seen is the moving...
Howl's Moving Castle.
Okay, the moving castle and the one with the face.
The one with the face, all of them.
No, the one with the face.
Spirited Away.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Okay.
God, I don't know how I got that. Anyways, so... Let's just jump right on into it. Jess, what do you think of RWBY Volume 2 so far?
Well, I have never seen a RWBY before, so this was my first experience with it, and I didn't really like it.
Why not?
I don't know. I didn't really like the animation. I thought it wasn't engaging. It was kind of... I don't know. There was just something about it that seemed flat to me, and I'm not an animator. I can't really describe like what I'm trying to say about it, but there's just something that wasn't... I don't know, wasn't engaging to me.
And that's an interesting point, actually. A lot of people have said that they don't really like the animation style of RWBY. They say, again, that it's kind of flat. And in the last season, the last volume, whatever, a lot of people were saying that they didn't like how kind of stiff the animation was. And I will say this, they have smoothed it out a lot. So, I'm glad you're watching this one and not the last ones, because I can only imagine what you would have said then.
I mean, I like the animation at the end. That end part was really good.
Yeah, what she's talking about, guys, is the, almost chalk-like animation that they used in the credits. Very, very cool. Not necessarily great for a series, necessarily.
No, I couldn't see them doing it for the entire series, but I can see it as a cool, trailer thing.
It was cool animation.
I don't know.
Anyways, so one of the things that I thought was really good, I personally thought that the episode was really good. I wouldn't go so far as to say that it was great. However, I do think that it had some really great things going for it. So first and foremost, one of the things that I personally enjoyed, so opposite of you, I liked the animation. Again, they've cleaned it up a lot from last season. I thought that it was great. Also, on top of that, the fight sequences were fantastic, albeit a little kind of weird. And if you haven't seen the episode, go watch it and you'll know why.
Turkey hands. That's all I'm going to say.
Spoilers. Turkey hands. Also, and one of the things along with that, with the animation sequence, particularly that one that she's talking about, the turkey hands sequence.
Turkey hands.
Was that you kind of got to see where the characters are at now in terms of their skill levels. So particularly John, where last season, spoilers, if you haven't seen Volume 1, why are you watching a thing on Volume 2?
I don't know. Maybe there's someone out there like me who's being forced to watch the second one without understanding what the hell is going on. I'm just saying.
Touche. Anyways, so John was really struggling last season, so it was cool to kind of see where the character's at now. Also, even all the characters, you kind of get to see where their skill levels are at now. I think it's 2 weeks after the events of the Volume 1 finale, but even in that time, we've seen a great deal of growth. I will say that cons-wise, I thought that it was really lacking in the character development department. And it is the first episode, so you don't necessarily need all that stuff yet. However, it didn't really tease much stuff with the main protagonist yet. So,
well, as a person who hasn't seen this before, I know nothing about any of the characters, really.
Yeah, so it's very obvious that it's not very accessible for outside people in terms of that department. That's not necessarily something that will continue for the rest of the season, but just as a one-shot view of Episode 1 of Volume 2, it wasn't very accessible, and it's unlikely to earn any brand new fans by just watching that alone. Also, going on that as well, one of the cons I would say was, if you guys haven't watched the episode yet, stop listening right now, go watch the episode and come back. Turkey hands, the food fight scene is what that referred to, and while that was a really, really cool action sequence, it was kind of lame in that it might have been a little too whimsical for the series. Volume 1 ended in a very kind of, not dark place, but a much more mature place, and so having them go back to school and engaging in a food fight is kind of strange. And while that is a story mechanism as well, it can kind of help see these characters thrust back into these more immature roles. It was kind of jarring having those two episodes next to each other, particularly if you watch them back to back. So, Jess, what did you think of it?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't see the last season where all that stuff happened, but my question is, why don't the adults take care of it? They're just over in the corner judging them for, like, having a food fight, which, I mean, I couldn't really engage with because I'm an adult and don't think food fights are super fun. Turkey hands.
Dude, food fights are awesome. If I had the situation...
It's a giant mess. You just have to clean up all the time. It's just a huge pain in the ass. It's going to end with people crying. It starts out fun, but someone's going to cry. And then they have to wear those clothes the rest of the day.
People are going to think that you're like a cafeteria lady just from the anger that you're getting just from
No,
thinking about a food fight. Those damn kids
I think
threw
of like
food
that
again.
one movie, Two of a Kind, the Mary-Kate and Ashley movie where they had the food fight at the end. That's where this is going. I don't know. No.
Hey, that movie was great with the food fight. It brought the two romantic leads together. They went swimming. That's what you do. If you have Kirstie Alley, Steve Guttenberg, you know what's up.
Anyways, I was saying, why don't the adults just take care of it themselves? Stop the food fight, clean it up, and take care of whatever bad guys you're talking about.
Well, I mean, Glinda kind of did end it at the end, but I see what you're saying. A lot of people kind of pointed that out at the end of last volume as well, which is, what the fuck are the adults doing? You know?
It's like Harry Potter syndrome. Like, these 3 kids have to take care of everything, and the grown-up witches and wizards or just whatever. They're, like, not doing anything, and these kids are taking care of... I mean, that's not true. Harry Potter is... I love Harry Potter. And the adults do things in that as well.
Dumbledore dies. Sorry, guys.
What is with that thing? I don't understand why
I don't know. It's like an 8-year-old spoiler, guys. Get over it. Anyways, that is something that a lot of people did point out, was the fact that what are these characters doing? I mean... You have these younger kids that are having to take matters into their own hand. And yes, that is a common theme in a lot of different stories, particularly of this type of genre, fantasy genre, and even action genre for that matter. But in this case, I feel as though it's not really explored very much in terms of what Ozpin, what Glinda are doing in order to thwart these efforts. In fact, the only time that you ever really see Glinda herself do anything is at the very beginning of RWBY Volume 1, and after that, we don't see any more action sequences necessarily with any of the adult characters, which, granted, they're not the main characters of the entire series, but we should at least get an explanation for what's going on. And obviously, these characters are probably doing a lot more than what we're seeing so far, but that's something that they would want to tease. What are these older characters doing to thwart the efforts of, Torwick and, in this case, Cinder?
And maybe that's just me as an adult not being able to really relate to teenage characters anymore and not finding that to be engaging. But I kind of want to see these grown up with whatever in an office space or being grown-ups doing their thing. But
guys,
or see more of the adults.
Don't let her fool you. She's 23 years old. She's not a grown-up. She's pretending.
It's true, I'm not a grown-up yet. I still have my hopes and dreams.
She still has her hopes and dreams for being a grown-up. I don't. I gave up on those hopes and dreams long ago. But more seriously, you really liked the Cinder character, didn't you?
I thought she was probably the most interesting out of all of them. I mean, I didn't really get to see a lot of character development, and that's not engaging to me when they just kind of just do a fight scene.
What is the first episode?
Well, I didn't understand, okay, I don't know any of these characters, and coming into it Season 2, that was probably the stupidest thing that you could have had me do, FYI. But I don't, whoops. Anyways, which is a word. Anyways, it wasn't engaging to me, and so the only character that I felt that they gave any, time developing was the one with the fire eyes.
Cinder.
Fire eyes.
Old Fire Eyes. Yeah, Cinder. And that's actually a really good point, too.
I sound like I'm naming them Native American things.
Old Fire Eyes. No, that's I think that's Office. That's what you call your boss behind their back, right? Old Fire Eyes. No, but that's actually a really good point, because that was another thing that I thought the episode was really good with, was that their villains were teased quite well. We got to see a lot of kind of interesting moments with the villains. You have the 2 younger ones that we get to see go into the bookstore, which, by the way, is like the most stuff that's ever happened in a bookstore since the Neverending Story.
You can't blame him. That guy claimed that he owned all of the books in existence.
Who, not Wolverine?
And then, yeah, not Wolverine, claims that he owns all of the books in existence, and green-haired whatever her face is was like, I need my book. And he's like, I don't have it. And that's false advertising. And then she smacks him in the face.
And then they kick him. It's quite rude, actually. If they ever don't... Go to a Barnes & Noble's. If they do not have the book that you want, I'm pretty sure it's written somewhere in the rules that you're allowed to do that.
I think that's legal.
Yeah,
I think that would hold up in court.
Yeah, it's like the Santa Claus thing. It's like a little fine print that you have to view with a magnifying glass.
On the business card.
Yes. But yeah, you got to see a lot of teasing with the villains and what they're doing now. For instance, they had said that they're no longer interested in Dust, which was a key component of the last season.
I didn't understand that at all.
Oh, of course you didn't. We've already gone over. You didn't watch the last season.
What do you mean there's no dust? Just go sweep the floor. I'm sure you can find some. The kids left enough mess with the food fight.
Anyways, so they're no longer after that dust, which is, I believe, an energy source that they use. So that's interesting in terms of what it has in store for the future. It shows that we're going to be going for different territory in the future for what our heroes will have to encounter. But outside of that, we didn't really get much teasing with anything else. It was all just kind of straightforward, action-y stuff, which, don't get me wrong, totally awesome and really cool to watch, but it doesn't really give us too much food for the future. It just gives us, our weekly dose of action.
But I want to know why they're doing that. Like, I understand with a food fight, you don't really have to explain why Turkey Hands is beating up Sausage Whip, but whatever.
Sausage Whip. New porn name.
Yeah. That's so gross. But I'm just saying, I would want to have that development, I guess.
Anyways, I agree. I think that is something that was lacking. We didn't get very much development. And there's plenty of time for that. We still have the entire volume ahead of us, but for now, it was lacking, and I don't think that's going to be bringing in any new viewers as a result of that. So just wrapping up a little bit, what would you say you would give, what grade would you say you would give to this episode in particular? So from the outside perspective of somebody who's only seen one episode, what would you say the grade is?
Well, I don't want to be too harsh. But
be harsh.
I feel like generously a C.
Oh.
Maybe a C minus.
Okay, don't be harsh.
I don't like that I don't know what the hell is going on, and I don't have any background or any character development. I understand the episode's only 15 minutes, but it's just like, I have no idea why. I don't.
Why?
Why?
Darth Vader. Why?
I don't talk like that.
It's true, you don't. That's weird. That'd be really weird if you did. On my own side, so coming from somebody who actually does enjoy the series, I would give the episode a B+, which I wouldn't say that's generous. I would just say that that's kind of dead on. I almost gave it an A-, but the reason why is that it had some really awesome animation. The actual villain development was really good. It teased that very well. And just like I said, I mean, it was really good at showing us where the characters have progressed ability-wise, but the main characters really haven't given us any showing of changing internally. So we definitely don't want episodes like last season in which it was just, here's our Jean development episode. No, you want it to be built in a little bit at a time, and that's something that I think that I want to see before I really get into the A territory. So that's where B+ comes from.
Well, if you make me watch any other episodes, I feel like my big thing that I'd be watching out for is getting rid of the Harry Potter complex. I mean, at least in Harry Potter, they explained why the kids had to do everything. Why? Why are they doing everything?
Gryffindor!
10 points for Hufflepuff.
No, Hufflepuff doesn't get shit.
Hufflepuff gets all of the points. All of the points for Hufflepuff.
Anyways, guys, again, this has been Mike Hughes from Examiner.com and Jessica from
Life.
From Life, the game of life. So check in with us next week. Subscribe to us. You'll find the links below, and we will see you next week. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Later.